Welcome to Subramani. I am going to do one more video, one more vlog on what you have heard in the media and how have you used it. So the first investment, please, I beg of you, is to have a 200-page notebook in which you write down whatever you hear on television, and you will hear many such things. The Fed is in such a shape that it can never increase interest rates. You'll hear that not now, but sometime later, after it has increased, not after it has increased, just before it has increased, before it is about to increase. Or saying inflation is so high that the Fed has no choice but to increase interest rates. You will hear both of this at more or less the same time. So write down who is saying what, because tomorrow you have to create your own list of pundits to whom you will listen to. I mean, everybody is giving gyan today. Somebody comes and says, I have 13 years experience in the markets. To me, it doesn't mean anything, because 13 years means you have experience from 2008, which means you have not seen a long-winded recession, which means if the market does nothing for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, or does something like this, and it will exhaust you. You will get bored. I do not know how these millennials are going to react. I don't know. It's the only thing which I can say very honestly. So, will Fed increase interest rates? We don't know. Will RBI increase interest rates? We don't know. Did you not hear the story that whenever Mr. Narendra Modi comes to power, there will be more freeing of the economy? It's a right-wing government. I don't know why we call it a right-wing. Okay, the European press or the American press calls it the right-wing Hindu nationalist party. I honestly don't see what is so right-wing or Hindu nationalist about them. There are people who are crying that there is not enough freeing of temples, and I don't see any PSU sale happening in a big way. Air India has been a recent example. I remember in 2014 when Narendra Modi came to power, I had a lot of position in PSU stocks. And my broker said, what do you think is going to happen? And I said, oh, I think he's going to privatize all the PSUs very quickly. I said, why are you saying this? I said, because he did it in Gujarat. He said, fantastic. So you think so? I said, yes. He said, do you think everybody thinks so? I said, yes. He said, isn't it a fantastic time to be selling PSU stocks? I actually sold. When Mr. Modi came to power, I went and sold all the PSU position which I had built from. You knew about 6-7 months back that Mr. Modi is coming to power. So I had built a position. I sold everything when he came to power, or maybe 15 days after his assuming power. I just got rid of everything. Almost all the PSU went out, and then there was talk of privatization, etc. Nothing happened. Then again the PSUs came down, and I bought again. Which again is a learning which I got not from the media but from one great investor whose whole family got into trouble, so I'm not naming him. He told me, don't ever take a permanent position on anything. So I used to be anti-PSU, saying, oh God, there is corruption, and I had done audits of some of the PSUs, and so I never had great respect for people who don't have skin in the game, because the chairman comes for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, maybe 3 years, and that's about it. So I thought there was no permanency of a vision or things like that. So I used to be anti-PSU. Then I met this guy sometime I had just finished my article. So I met him in 89, 90. Of course, I was a chartered accountant by then. So he told me, and he had fantastic data on PSUs. And he said, look at this data and look at the prices at which they will come. They don't understand pricing. Though initially they will all come at a very low price. That's the time to get in, and you will be allowed to exit. And I got an exit. So my view on PSU keeps changing. So sorry, I digress, because yes, we heard that Narendra Modi is going to be right wing. This is the last thing that this government is. It's not right wing. If anything, it is left wing, and we will be told again and again out of our patriotic duty that we have to pay more taxes, and we will bear it and we will pay it. We don't have too much of a choice, at least not at this age. If I were younger, I would at least consider other options. Should I migrate? Should I stay on? What should I do? Today, I don't think I have a choice. I'm headed to the Vanaprastha ashram and then Sannyas ashram, right? I'm not really, the Grihastha ashram is over. So sorry for digressing, but yes, you keep hearing these things and you keep wondering how much to believe, how much not to believe. Or how many times have we heard that the dollar is about to collapse and somebody else is going to take over? How many times did we hear that the Japanese are so efficient that soon we will be able to say, here is a yen, give me a dollar? It's going to take such a hammering and such a, of course, we have seen the 300 yen for a dollar also, but it's not now, it's not the rate where I don't have any strong story for anything, right? So we work on probability, we work that this might happen, if this happens, this will happen. So build a small position, have some small position in Japan, maybe Hong Kong, maybe Taiwan, maybe China. You build a position somewhere, because today global funds are available. There is one single fund where you can put money and they will choose which fund to go and where not to go. Now, having done all this, if tomorrow the Biden law comes in and says you will be taxed on capital appreciation the way traders are taxed on mark to market, all this will be lost, because the trading, what happens if mutual funds are subject to income tax, right? So we don't know. Subject to income tax means capital gains tax. Right now, they don't pay any capital gains tax. A country which needs money is capable of doing anything so desperate. So how many times have you been shown a chart and said, look, this looks so bad, it looks like 1987 or it looks like 1929, now the market is about to crash? Or did you see Mark Faber talking about a crash which is going to happen in the markets? Give me a break. So many things we have heard in the past which have not happened. The question is, how do you believe, and what do you believe, and what do you not believe, right? We were told that QE will create tremendous inflation. It didn't. It created some prices inflation, yes, but does it mean it did not create any inflation in the real estate, which is very surprising, because there's more money coming in. The real estate should be the first one to go up. Well, it didn't happen much in India. Rents didn't go up. Rents came down thanks to COVID. Rents are at, I think, all-time lows. At least over the last 2-3 years, rents have not been going up. Yes, some small flats rents have been going up, but not really, not up in the sense that it may not even be keeping pace with inflation. So many times you keep hearing the market is about to crash, the interest rates are about to go up, or interest rates are about to go down. And how many times, how many times have experts called the recession, right? Like they say, they got the last 20 of the 7 recessions perfectly right. So whether it is a recession going to happen, then we heard that the market is going to fall, we heard the market is going to go up, and then we heard market is reaching 50,000 was big news. But the journey from 50 to 60 was made very quickly. But the journey from 60 to 70 may take a much longer time. You don't know, right? That's the problem. There's a problem coming on television and saying, I don't know. It makes for very bad copy. So people want you to sound like an expert and say you know, but the truth is I do not know are the best 4 words you can hear from any expert. So what I am suggesting again is to buy a notebook and write down who is saying what on which day, and what are the conclusions that you are coming to, and what action are you taking. Based on that, are you taking any action? Write all this on one page, and for heaven's sake write, don't type, because when you type there's always a tendency to go back and delete. So don't, have it handwritten and see what the experts are saying, and see how you are reading it, understanding it, or listening to it, whatever, and using it, right? So once you clearly have a pattern, then you will know the mistakes that you are making or the mistakes that the experts are making. It's not to say that every expert has some hidden agenda. Very likely that he has, or his company is telling him that you should be available on television for so many hours, and the PR agency is doing its work and he or she is available on television. But their agenda is not known to you. So if you don't know the agenda, you have to search for the agenda, because if somebody is telling you something, you have to find out what is the reason why they are saying. For example, many of us have gone around saying why term insurance is the best. So they have created a product which is term insurance with return of premium, which I think is a terrible product. But then we'll talk about it, right? So you have to be worried that when you hear these things on media, how much to believe, how much not to believe, right? So you will have permanent arguments about, oh, oil. Let's take a simple thing. Oil prices are going up. They say, wow, that's fantastic. It means the economy is looking up. B, the interpretation could be, oh my god, now with heating costs going up, I do not know how the market is going to react to it. So will they sell the shares? We don't know. So oil going up, oil coming down, you can decide however you want to interpret it, depending on whether you are a bear or you are a bull, whether you are a permanent bull or a permanent bear. So be careful about what you see.